it's all the same poem that's been revised multiple times. I can't quite decide how I want it to work or what version that I want to stick with. I've had my grad school poetry writing class look at this one. I got lots of feedback on it. And this first one, the original version, is just called My Way with Words. And it's pretty much a failed relationship poem. So when I talked to the blonde at the ball game, I meant to say, "You look great. I like your outfit." Instead, I said, "I like how you dress to impress." She said, "I'm just wearing something comfortable." And that was that. When I talked to the redhead at the restaurant, I meant to say, "I'm sorry to hear about your recent breakup. I guess it wasn't meant to be. Let me know if you ever want to talk or get together." Instead, I said, "You just broke up? That's great. Will you go out with me?" And the answer was no. When I talked to the brunette at the bar, I meant to say, "I'm really comfortable around you, and I enjoy our conversation." Instead, I said, "You remind me of my mother." And she walked away. When I talked to the black-haired barista, I meant to say, "I agree. Finding the right fit for a date can be hard. What kind of things do you like to do?" Instead, I said, "Oh, man, I just want to fuck or get my dick sucked." The next guy she dated said he'd kill me if I ever talked to her again, so I don't get coffee anymore. So clearly the narrator, he's not really getting it and changing it, or changing anything about himself. And then the next version of the poem I titled Drunk Talk, and I just literally got rid of the barista stanza and then turned it into I don't drink anymore as the last line. So the narrator's kind of being self-reflective and changing some things. And then with these other two versions, the narrator just gets increasingly worse and more of a jerk. This next version is called Striking Out. When I talked to the blonde at the ball game, I was all ready to make her feel sexy. I said, "I like how you dress to impress." She said, "I'm just wearing something comfortable." And that was that. When I talked to the redhead at the restaurant, she and her boyfriend just broke up, and I said, "Well, why don't you go out with a real man?" She laughed and said, "You?" She dropped off the check and never came back. When I talked to the brunette at the bar, I was all ready to show her my sensitive side, since chicks dig that. I said, "You remind me of my mother." She looked horrified, and then walked away. When I talked to the black-haired barista, I was like, "Fuck this. I just gotta be real." I said, "You're still hot, and I'm really bad at dating. I just want to have sex with you." She gagged and disappeared in the back. How was I supposed to know she had a boyfriend? And then the last version of this piece, the narrator, I'm hoping everyone roots for the bad things that happened to this guy. He can turn it around, but he's clearly an arrogant jerk. And the title of this one is just Fuck Starbucks. When I talked to the blonde at the ball game, I was all ready to make her feel sexy. I said, "I like how you dress to impress." She said, "I'm just wearing something comfortable." I lost her in the crowd after it took forever to get me my drinks. When I talked to the redhead at the restaurant, I heard she broke up with her loser boyfriend. I said, "You should date a real man." She said, "You?" She thought of something funny, dropped off the check, and didn't come back. So I stiffed her. When I talked to the brunette at the bar, I was all ready to show her my sensitive side, since chicks dig that. I said, "You remind me of my mother." She choked on her drink, said nothing else, and walked away. What can I say? Chicks can't hold their liquor. When I talked to the black-haired barista at Starbucks, I was like, "Fuck this. I just gotta be real." I said, "You're so fucking sexy. Why don't you get a room with me after your shift?" She said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Why don't you stop thinking about my dick and listen?" Some jackass at the corner booth stepped up to me. He said, "You think you got a cute mouth, huh?" I said, "Can't you see I'm talking to this chick, you retarded meathead? Fuck off." He said, "That's my girlfriend." And then, he sucker punched me. He was like 5 times my weight, and he knocked out some of my teeth. My dentist asked me what happened. I tried to tell her she had a nice ass, because girls like compliments. But instead, it came out, and she said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I could get coffee with you sometime." I spit and rinsed and said, "I don't get coffee anymore. Fuck